Very good morning to all of you and my greetings. Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions. Sri Rajiv Goba, Cabinet Secretary, Government of India. Sri Sunil Kumar Gupta, Secretary, Vice President of India. Sri V. Srinivas, Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms. Chief Secretaries, Secretaries present, distinguished members of the Civil Service. Civil Services Day is an occasion for civil servants to rededicate themselves to the cause of citizens and renew their commitments and excellence in work. This is of considerable significance for the nation, reminding us all of the spinal role this class in administration and development journey of our country. Indeed, an honor and privilege to be part of this seminal occasion, an opportunity for the central government to evaluate the work of various departments and equally for the civil service to reflect, to enhance its contributions. Such self-auditing is highly productive. It was on this day in 1947, the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, referred to the civil servants as the steel frame of India. The executors of the policies of the government of the day, a pillar on which the wheel of governance that churns policies and programs for the country. Vision of the Sardar, the unifier of modern India, continues to inspire and motivate civil servants, as also all of us, across the country to make exemplary contributions for the nation. It is our collective dharma to always keep the interest of Bharat uppermost. We all are proud Indians and must take pride in our astounding accomplishments and growth, as also our civilizational ethos that date thousands of years ago. Our global image at the moment is the highest ever. The world today awaits voice of Bharat on global issues. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement in 2020, I quote, "The age of expansionism is over. This is the era of development," unquote. And in 2022, quote, "Today's era is not of war," unquote, became voice of the world, defining our global stance. Nation always first has ever to be our guiding principle. Those out of line need to reflect and revisit their thought process, as anything otherwise will be antithetical to our nationalism. Friends, privileged in availing this opportunity to connect with the world's most potent human resource, repository of enormous talent and expertise, you all are commendably engaged in transforming lives of 1/6 of the humanity. As a class, you are role model to millions and powerful influencers for effecting change and growth. Your positioning is on merit, evaluated by the most stringent selection process. It is beyond any largesse or patronage. It is non-scenario that even after succeeding in the toughest exam, the fiscal benefits of civil servants are not comparable to the alternatives available. However, there is something unique and special about civil services that make it envy of your peers in the alternatives. It affords you sublime and godly opportunity to serve the people and bring about upliftment. You are significant stakeholders in ensuring progress of the nation and so positioned to improve the lives of our citizens. You are the most visible and effective agents of change that is dotting our landscape. Civil service is the backbone of our government and plays a crucial role in smooth running of the nation. You in Amritkar, and some of you, are warriors of 2047, laying foundations that will shape Bharat when it celebrates its centenary of independence. In recent years, to enhance work efficiency of civil service, series of steps have been taken, securing increased flexibility in mechanisms and modalities of implementation policy directives, rationalization of multiplicity of accountability, and firm defining of goals and benchmarks to be achieved, thereby providing a clear perspective vision that is quintessence of any development. Friends, incorporation of Section 17, capital A, in the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 in 2018 is a step in the right direction. It now regulates investigation of issues as regards the recommendations made or decisions taken by public servant in the discharge of official functions and duties by providing prior approval of the concerned authority for investigation. This also affords the civil servant play in the joints. This enhanced assurance in decision making is already generating exponential growth and results. The theme of this year's Civil Service Day is indeed very apt. Viksit Bharat, aimed at empowering citizens and reaching the last mile. The theme underscores the government's firm resolve and commitment to achieving a more equitable and prosperous India for all its citizens by engaging in inclusive growth. Civil service is the fulcrum for achieving Viksit Bharat. Through its commitment to achieve Sankalp to Siddhi, this theme is reflection of the preamble of our Indian Constitution that seeks to secure for all citizens justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. A soothing scenario. The nation is fast marching on this path with your momentous contributions. 2 plenary sessions and 4 breakaway sessions will for sure afford an opportunity of meaningful interaction and exchange of ideas. There will be enough, and I'm very confident about it, enough take home for you all from the discussions and deliberations that will contribute significantly to the ongoing efforts of various ministries. Chintan Shivers, well thought out mechanism where ministries, departments engage at all levels to bring a whole of government approach have been rewarding experience. Such as self-assessment and auditing enhances transparency, accountability in system operations. The Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances is commendably promoting excellence in governance. Its efforts towards driving administrative reforms, promoting innovation, and strengthening citizen-centric service delivery are bearing fruit and transforming the way government operates. Today, thanks to a series of governmental policies and initiatives, India, that is Bharat, is on the rise as never before. It is inspired by the surge of aspirations and innovations and validated by the achievements of our citizens. This coupling of leadership vision, genius of our people, and commitment of the civil service makes Bharat a favorite global destination of opportunity and investment. The country has the tag of being the fastest growing large economy in the world. As a consequence of this seamless, synergetic functioning, the vision of leadership is being catalyzed by the civil service into ground reality, resulting in extensive adoption of technologies like digital platforms, artificial intelligence, big data science, and Internet of Things. Innovative and inclusive solutions are mitigating and addressing the challenges faced by the marginalized communities. The solutions are fructifying the people's aspirations in access to quality health care, education, and basic amenities. These have been met with steely resolve and determination by the civil service. Creditable execution by civil service of governmental initiatives and policies has resulted in India becoming a hub of global value chain to facilitate a new entrepreneurial culture and facilitate innovator startups. All these are now an essential part of public administration to meet the demands of an Atmanirbhar economy, our new mantra. People at large are beneficiaries of emergence of an ecosystem that promotes series of system solutions. Minimum government, maximum governance, direct benefit transfer, shift from rule to role, citizen centricity, transparency and accountability in public service delivery are your greatest of attainments. Like our polity, civil service composition is continually getting more representative, encompassing all societal segments. Some in foreign countries are yet to contend with it, and they think it is not so. But the change is so dramatic, so revolutionary, that it can be felt in every geographical area of our country. Now, young talent from remote villages, from humble families, from marginalized communities is joining the civil service. These young people have closely seen for themselves the positive role that public administration plays in eradicating poverty and improving chances of realizing their full potential. It is also heartening to see that more and more talented young women are joining the civil service, ready to face challenges of public administration. I have no doubt their presence will be very wholesome, will lead to a more sensitive and well-rounded bureaucracy. And this, friends, is not a gender-oriented reflection. It is marked by objectivity. Vision and policies of political executive. This is a very, very critical area. Civil service delivery is the best when you get a vision. So vision and policies of political executive are quite essential to optimizing your performance and exploitation of your talent and potential. Fortunately, this today is a ground reality, with there being environment for optimal output, and that is taking place. With steadfast and visionary leadership and stable governance at the helm, there is emergence of wholesome ecosystem in recent years, enabling unleashing of bureaucratic prowess in expeditious execution of policies. Inclusive growth, and this inclusive growth, which was just a concept, now ground reality, when benefits are accruing to those who needed them most, is now a new norm. This has revolutionized governance at all levels, particularly in rural and semi-rural areas. Availing technology extensively has been a big game changer in governance. Its impact is being felt in every walk of life. CoWIN portal for vaccination success has been acknowledged globally, and I have felt the warmth of it on my 2 visits abroad. Civil servants played laudable role at all levels in the country to fight COVID-19, setting a new global benchmark. No civil servant in the world faced the challenges beyond COVID while you were tackling COVID. Yet you brought about great success and laurels to the nation. Civil servant mindset focus is now upon service delivery to the common man. Technological involvement has speeded up service delivery and in the process ended a long-standing menace of middlemen. I have no hesitation in saying, civil service has never created middlemen. It has been bane of civil service. They have invariably suffered over decades by the presence of middlemen. The achievements now are astoundingly impressive, be it in the field of rural housing, cooking gas, sanitation, drinking water, power supply, bank accounts, or digitization of payments. Transparency and accountability are now inalienable facet and part of well-embedded order. Exponential growth is also due to empowerment of the system by introduction of technology. And this technology has gone to the villages. People are availing it extensively to get service delivery. And this is a big relief to the people who never dreamt of it. Aspirational districts and smart cities, imaginative ideas are changing the landscape. I was so happy and delighted to note that a district where a district magistrate would not like to go in that position is now a hot favorite destination because it is aspirational district. He gets an opportunity to take it to a higher level. This is a big change. Well thought out and effective execution as regards aspirational districts and smart cities proves, and this is very significant, I personally learnt of it, what regular indicator-based monitoring can achieve. An ordinary man, smart city means it has to be smart. But to you it meant what? In an authentic spinal manner, it must be smart. That is, young people and others living there must have access to that kind of technology and facilities which were taken once to be exclusive and preserved of the metros. Saturation approach, a great concept, a Gandhian recipe for growth has been realized on ground by and large, has ensured accrual benefits to the last man in the queue. This could not have been possible without your passion, mission, commitment, and direction. Importance of a stable government for effecting development can never be overstated. Friends, I was elected to Parliament in 1989 and had the occasion to be a minister during that period. We were running a government of more than 12 parties. I am one of the very few who know the constraints of coalition governance. In that perspective, political developments in 2014 and 2019 are watershed moment. This has turned out to be impactful for governance and, more importantly, has contributed massively to the rise of global image for this country. Friends, sanitization of power corridors, of deeply embedded undesirable elements who for long extra legally leveraged governance is a milestone accomplishment and has been widely acclaimed. The presence of these undesirable elements was never due to the civil service. the civil service had to suffer them and in pain and anguish. This is no longer a situation now. Eclipse, and this is another very significant change that has taken place. Eclipse of the once flourishing lucrative industry of power brokers is particularly a boon to civil service because it enables the civil service to unleash its energy without fear or favor. India is on the rise, friends, as never before. And the rise, I have no doubt, is unstoppable. Thanks to the effective implementation of affirmative initiatives and policies, we are a global destination of investment and opportunity. India in recent years has had spectacular successes that have transformed our country while setting an example to the rest of the world. Take, for an instance, a simple thing. 220 crore people got vaccination. Their certification is available on their mobile. No country in the world can match this feat. All this is because of the leadership vision and your most effective, devoted execution of it. Look at the scale of it. I had the occasion to reflect to one of the world leaders while I was abroad that you care for your paper industry. We in our country are not very careful about it. He said, how come? Because it was certainly a different matter altogether. I said, 220 crore certifications, which should have been multiply in paper in our country are in digital form. The paper industry thereby has suffered. A great achievement, you could see the point. Genius of our people and commitment of the civil service has helped us in attainment of a great milestone in September 2022. And this was with double satisfaction. We became the 5th largest economy in the world and leaving behind our erstwhile colonial rulers. By all indications, by turn of the decade, we are bound to be the 3rd largest economy on the planet. Direct transfer of fiscal benefit at gigantic scale has fixed pernicious leakage in public service delivery. Friends, reflect at the anguish and pain of a former Prime Minister who asserted in 80s that only fraction reaches to the beneficiary. This leakage has been plugged irretrievably. It can never take place now. The blueprint of growth of India had been largely earlier on the shelf, gathering dust. It is a ground reality now. It is being executed. If we go by Global Innovation Index, we have jumped by 40 positions. And this is reflected by research and filing of patents. We are the 3rd largest ecosystem with over 80,000 startups and 3rd highest number of unicorns in the world, envy of the most developed nations. Such a phenomenal incremental growth trajectory is outcome of a series of affirmative steps and initiatives, as also evolution of ecosystem enabling our citizens to fully exploit their talent and potential. And this is just not on paper. These are just not words. Now every young mind is enabled by virtue of this ecosystem to exploit his and her talent to the best of capacity. It is constitutional imperative that there should be uniformity in administration across the union and states so that federalism blossoms into cooperative federalism as envisioned by the Prime Minister. In this emergence, civil service, particularly at the top level, has a critical role to play. Challenges being encountered by civil service are being addressed. I don't want to share, but there are challenges. Even if we look at the contemporaneous scenario, they arise in various parts of the country, but they are being addressed. I personally know the Honorable Minister. He is so passionate in missionary zeal to bring it about. All India service function with interchangeability common to the Union and states, a significant facet of federalism. However, the stance of some states on this count is a cause of concern. This scenario is straining the quality of civil service apart from denting the federal system. There is an urgent need to smoothen out the issues so that efficacy and sublimity of civil service is not lost. Steps, I'm sure, are being taken in the right direction. There are some concerning areas that call for reflection at your end as individuals, as also through associations. Steel frame of India emasculation is taking place in some parts of the country due to ingratiation with political masters, straining federal structure and making transparency and accountability a casualty. I wouldn't say more, because those who are before me feel it and know it. Friends, some bureaucrats at state level are turning out to be a great challenge to politicians. They wield more power than the politicians. The power they wield is envy of any politician. There needs to be introspection and counseling of them so that they fall in line with the spinal belief the civil service has and the reputation it has nurtured over the decades. Scrupulous adherence to All India Service Conduct Rules 1968 and related legal regimes is not optional. By way of illustration, there is a prescription in the rules. I am particularly referring to the Rule 3 capital A, which came by way of an amendment. I quote, "A member of the service who has received oral direction from his official superior shall seek clarification of the same in writing as early as possible," unquote. In some parts, this is observed in breach. Governance by oral directives, fiats, has unfortunately graduated to an acceptable form of governance that can come to an end only when there is counseling and guidance from your powerful fraternity, either through association or otherwise. Functioning in harmony and togetherness between the center and states, the constitutional imperative. And in this, civil service plays pivotal role by exhibiting scrupulous adherence to conduct legal regime. I have been witness to a scene I thought I had never seen when I was there in my earlier position. I wouldn't say more, all of you know about it. These critical issues call for resolution beyond scratching the surface. Friends, senior amongst you, will have to dive deep to contain this mess and these aberrations that are in micro category, very small, and in some parts. And I am sure this is achievable if some of you at senior level take initiative personally or official. Friends, in 80s, when I was an advocate, I could never have a sound sleep unless my name appeared in the press. I was a young lawyer. Over the years, after I became a senior advocate, in 89-90, I learned this was not the right thing. But you belong to the most distinguished category of human resource. You are put in a position by the toughest examination, I say. And trust me, there is no one in the country who can say, I never aspired to hold your position. He may be anyone in judiciary, legislature, or any walk of life or industry. His dream always would have been to get into the shoes which you are wearing. I would therefore say, media bug has afflicted some in the civil service. There is need for systemic guidance by your structured association. Trust me, it is never rewarding. Friends, bureaucracy suffers in natural course interventions from legislature, judiciary, and political executive. In my capacity as chairman Rajya Sabha, I have structured it. We need to pay highest respect and regard to our civil servants. We cannot initiate a process by drop of a hat. This receives highest attention at my level in my capacity as chairman Rajya Sabha. The institutions are expected to act in harmony. They can't be in confrontation. They can't be in complainant mode. They have to be in collaborative form. We all must work towards it. Doctrine of separation of powers, gifted as you all are intellectually and otherwise, has to be observed if our democracy has to blossom and sustain. I leave it at that. Mission Karmyogi, a national program for civil service capacity building, launched in September 2020, is turning out to be a game changer, shaping future-ready civil service with the right attitude, skill and knowledge aligned to the vision of New India. And it is impacting even people who are at the lower rank of working for the government. Their capacity is being enhanced. They are being motivated and inspired. And when this has happened, you will see a different kind of smile on their face. That the system is helping them to improve themselves. It is in the fitness of things that PM Awards for Excellence in Public Administration have been revamped with a new approach in 2021 with the objective to encourage constructive competition, innovation, replication, and institutionalization of best practices. In the film which you saw a little while ago, the Honorable Prime Minister impressed on it. This program can't be ritualistic. These 2 days, these 48 hours will define what India will be in coming years. This is the most significant investment of time to enhance productivity and growth of the nation. These awards serve as an inspiration for civil servants across the country to strive for excellence in public administration. Consequently, friends, your passion in execution of policies with missionary zeal is being increasingly reflected in optimizing welfare of the people. This has resulted in sea change in the rise of India, empowering citizens by leveraging public digital platforms, promoting a sustainable economy, fight water for all through the National Jal Jeevan Mission. I'll pause here for a minute. I was called upon to inaugurate one program, Har Ghar Nal. Now the secretary of the department had come. The Honorable Minister was there. They had before me a screen. I said, Rajasthan. They went to Rajasthan. I said, Jhunjhunu, my district. They went to Jhunjhunu. I said, Kitana, my village. They went to Kitana. And then I said, how about the status of my house? Friends, I was so enthused. देश बदल रहा है. वहां मेरे घर का नाम था क्योंकि वहां नल था. और किन किन के घर नल थे जिनको मैं जानता हूं वो मुझे पता है, और किन के नहीं थे वो भी थे, and it was a very high percentage. Holistic health for all through PM Jan Arogya Yojana, improving quality and education through Samiksha Kendras, and rest we are doing it. Just take a simple illustration how economy gets transformed. Ayushman Bharat. It is not just giving benefit to an individual. It has resulted in growth of medical education, medical colleges, nursing colleges, paramedical courses, hospitals, nursing homes, what not. This has brought about such a gigantic change. The PM Awards are a befitting tribute to the hard work and dedication of our civil servants and serve as a reminder of the critical role the public service plays in our lives. I congratulations, I can see that side. Award winners for their well-deserved recognition. Their success stories would certainly inspire and motivate many civil servants to pursue their replication and dissemination. It is gratifying to note that in Amrit Kal, where obviously the expectations are high, are elevated, the administration's delivery by realizing government policies is commendable. Friends, we are the largest and mother of democracy. Our democracy is most functional and vibrant at all levels. The village, the municipalities, the states, and the center. Friends, you will come to know, in no constitution of any other country, you will find a provision for panchayat. We have it in our Part 9 of the Constitution. Municipalities, Part 9, Capital A of the Constitution. And of course, state and parliament. So this kind of hierarchical democratic mechanism, you don't have anywhere else in the world. Some of the younger members of civil service know the power of Jila Pramukh, power of Pradhan, and the great role they play in transforming rural and urban areas. It's a big achievement. Friends, some in the world find it, I do not know for what cause, to question us on some of our greatest achievements. Our level of freedom of expression is next to none, and most of you must have felt it. Not because of you, but you are aware of it. Can there be a greater freedom of expression than what we have in this country? I'm sure no one can match us. I therefore dare say there is no tangible reflection of unforced silence as some seem to be voicing. It indicates their disconnect with the ground reality. How can in the largest democracy and mother of democracy there be unforced silence? I, for one, would never subscribe to such kind of a thought process which does not reflect the ground reality at all. Friends, indeed painful to suffer some who adopt hostage stance to our phenomenal growth and flourishing democratic values. I cannot be party to anyone who goes in the country or outside to belittle your achievements, to run down your accomplishments, to the most effective contribution you have made in changing lives of the people. I cannot be party to it. In and out, some of these people engage in misadventure to demean, decry, taint, and tarnish our democracy, constitutional values, and hard-working people in the government, the civil service. It is baffling why some amongst us enjoyably resort to self-goals when it comes to economic growth, policy making, and implementation. I pause here for a moment. You are a powerhouse of intellect. Senior people amongst you know what others are saying. They would speak from some part of the globe. At one point of time, they must have been in some kind of position to say, oh, all is going down the drain. They are doing two things: disservice to the nation and an affront to your hard work. We have to antidote it. We can never be party to it. This self-goal mechanism must end. Civil servants are eminently suited to be guiding lights, as also in promoting economic nationalism and observance of fundamental duties. I firmly believe in it. Go to a taluka. People will look at the SDM. Go to a district, they will look at the collector. Forget who else are there in the district, irrespective of their wealth, power, or position. Political power also. Go to the commissionerate, they look at you. So you are most eminently suited to bring about this revolutionary change of promoting economic nationalism. Should a country of our size be importing kites, candles, furniture, earthen lamps, and the like? And observance of fundamental duties, if this emanates from you at all levels, people will lend ears because they love to hear a real achiever. And you are real achievers. Friends, we must inculcate discipline in the people. Our Bharat will be very different if on road we outclass developed nations in observance of discipline. If you as a class take it upon yourselves to bring about this revolutionary change, the attainment is not difficult. Always remember, I say so because some have forgotten. Be you ever so high, the low is always above you. None is above low, none is beyond the reach of low. And we must never make an issue when the law takes its course. The issues are required to be battled in courts of law, and we have a good hierarchical mechanism thereof, rather than take to streets. Friends, it's a soothing aspect by and large. I live a very small category, very, very small category, a minuscule category. Civil servants are optimally unleashing their energy in the service of the nation, making all of us realize national dharma is imperative and not an option. I am confident that in the unprecedented growth trajectory of the nation, on way to attaining global place at pinnacle with the attainment of centenary celebrations in 2047. And in this civil service, I am sure will be spinally supportive. Our democracy on path to unprecedented growth and glory needs its wings, and the wings of our democratic polity are the legislature, the judiciary, the executive. They are required to act in tandem, togetherness, for smooth upward flight. All must work to ensure it. These constitutional entities, the legislature, the executive, the judiciary, can ill afford to weaponize their authority by effecting incursions in the domain of the other. Legislature, judiciary, and executive serve best the nation when they function in their respective domains. Friends, you all are aware more than I am. Dangers are emanating from outfits, within and without, including some foreign universities, doubling up as centers of subversive anti-Bharat activities out to demolish our civilization ethos and sully and muddy our growth. Disturbing insights in the hidden agenda of the so-called elites in India is alarming and unfortunately getting reflected in our constitutional institution working. I cannot imagine a more elitist group than the one before me. It has only to be recognized. We have developed a system in our country, friends, where iconic status is accorded on parameters that are baffling. We can't allow just anyone to calibrate and recalibrate and assess functioning of our bureaucracy, our policies, or vision of our leadership. We know what is under our ground. Someone has not to tell about it. Friends, I have no doubt it is the responsibility of the Parliament to safeguard India's national sovereignty and cultural integrity from any kind of threats, internal or external. Have my assurance, and I say it with emphasis, before the August audience, Parliament alone is in charge of legislation and competent to enforce it. Legislation is exclusive preserve of the Parliament, the most authentic reflector of the mindset and will of the people at large. It is not optional, it is not negotiable, and that shall not be allowed to happen. Under our constitutional scheme, neither the judiciary nor legislature can emerge as powerful political actor. This is best left to the political class. We should not make an effort in an area which is beyond us. Friends, I share the joy and concurrence of millions of our countrymen when I assert we have full trust and belief in your intellect and capacity to reach and outreach as the most potent influencers to neutralize anti-Bharat narratives and to effect execution of policies of the government and visionary leadership. I seek to conclude by reminding you all of reflections of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and these reflections were imparted by father of our Indian Constitution in his last speech to the Constituent Assembly. And the last speech is always the most important. Till that time, I quote, "What perturbs me greatly is the fact that not only India has once before lost her independence, but she lost it by the infidelity and treachery of some of her own people. But this much is certain, that if the parties place creed above country, our independence will be put in jeopardy a second time and probably be lost forever. This eventuality we must all resolutely guard against. We must be determined to defend our independence with the last drop of our blood." Unquote. I beseech all of you to bear in mind these very significant observations of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and continue on a path where India is gifted with visionary leadership, powerful bureaucracy. Nothing is beyond our reach because our recent accomplishments have so demonstrated. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
बहुत बहुत आभार माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय का।